Hey kiddos, this is Augustinelli. Today I am actually meeting the people who will be freshmen next year when you are sophomores. So that's why I'm not here teaching live today. If you need any help, Miss Davidson is available. You can call or text her. Her number is 720-731-7689. Or you can email her, and her email address is ldavidson@kipcolorado.org. If you need that information written down, you can find it on our syllabus in Google Classroom. So here's what you're going to do. Go ahead and answer that attendance question. Pause this video, answer the attendance question. Then read over the agenda for the day. Here is our agenda. Go ahead and pause the video and read over this. And lastly, you're just going to jot down your homework wherever you keep things so you can remember them. So your homework is to finish reading the prologue of The Bluest Eye if you do not complete it in class. You should complete it in class, but if you don't, it is homework. Here is your do now. What is something you love about yourself? What is something you would change about yourself? This is related to the novel. If you like, go ahead and pause the video and post something now. Your name will not be visible to other students. Okay, so what is relevant about our do now question? Why did I ask you that? About something you like about yourself and something you would change? Well, our next book is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. And in this book, one thing our protagonist, the main person in the book, deals with is not finding herself beautiful and wishing she could change things about herself. So The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, it's a great book. It's the first one Toni Morrison wrote. It is a coming-of-age novel that takes place in Lorain, Ohio. So Ohio is right here. Colorado's here. Ohio is right here. And Lorain is right at the very top of Ohio, so up here. So this is its own like little county up near the border. It's zoomed in here. These are some covers of The Bluest Eye. I don't know which one you guys have. I have this one. And this is our author, Toni Morrison. It tells the story of a young African-American girl named Pecola who grows up during the years following the Great Depression. The Great Depression was in the 1930s. So this is the 1940s. One thing Pecola struggles with is what she wants to change about herself. So that's why I posted that do now question. It's kind of a connection to our book. Our objective today is student will be able to internalize the historical context of The Bluest Eye, unit essential questions, and the goals of the unit. Historical context is just a fancy way of saying what was going on at the time. So we know it was the 1940s. What was that like, right? And so once we figure that out, we'll be able to dive into the novel with a full understanding of what the world was like back then. So we're going to move on to announcements. You should have your Bluest Eye novel. You should have gotten it on Monday. If you don't, please email me so we can talk about getting you the book, although there is an online version available posted on Google Classroom. And just a quick note about Monday work. Sometimes it might be Albert. Sometimes I might assign something different, okay? So Monday work, when you go on Google Classroom, it's under the Monday classwork tab. Just on Mondays, do whatever is underneath that topic. Okay. Historical context. You're going to open this web page. You are going to skim. It's going to be a little easier for you guys to open it than I am because I am recording. But go ahead and skim through this. You don't have to read everything perfectly, but you're going to skim. Take about 5 minutes to read through the headings that are most interesting to you. And then after you do that, you're going to answer 2 questions. The first one, what was it like to be an African American during the 1940s? Things to consider: race relations, standard of beauty, civil rights. And then the next question is either draw or write to answer this question. What are beauty standards and how do they shape us? You might want to use the internet and Google about this if you don't know the answer already. So you could Google real quick, what are beauty standards? And then you can read about it. Okay? Images of ideal beauty. It is easy to forget that standards of beauty are arbitrary and they vary greatly. The idea of beauty is always shifting, right? So you can read about it a little bit before you answer your question. Go ahead. I believe after this, yep, we're done with the historical context. So go ahead. You're going to take 15 minutes, pause this video, open this webpage, spend about 5 to 10 minutes browsing this webpage, and then answer these 2 questions. And then you'll take a break. Go ahead and pause the video now and complete that. Okay, if you have finished doing the historical context activity, you're taking a break, so you can pause now and take a 5-minute break. Okay, break is done. Let's talk about our essential questions. So essential questions, what are they? These are overarching questions that aren't just about our book, but about life too. And these guide us through the unit, and they guide teaching and learning by giving us a focus. While we read the book, we should always be thinking about these questions. So, these are the questions for Unit 4. Our unit assessment will be a Socratic seminar with these 6 questions. So, which question is most interesting to you? And make sure you keep in mind the number of the question that's most interesting to you, because next slide you'll have to answer a poll. Where do we look to define beauty? Number 2, how are beauty standards connected to power structures? Who do they serve? Who do they oppress? This means, do the people in power, are they considered more beautiful than people who are not in power? Is that on purpose? Number 3, who or what might impact our sense of worth? How can we build our own sense of worth? Number 4, what are all of our characters' assets? How can we find these assets when our characters may not see them? Number 5, how do people develop their own sense of identity as they reach the end of childhood? And last but not least, how does structure reflect and reinforce meaning? So here is the poll. Go ahead and select the question that you found most interesting. Now, here are the questions again. If we were in class together, I'd invite you to unmute and give us your initial thoughts on these questions. If you would like an extra credit opportunity, you can email me, tell me what question you're talking about, and give me a 2-sentence to 5-sentence answer, and I will give you extra credit. This is via email. You would email this to me, and I would say that extra credit opportunity will expire Friday by the end of day. Okay, let's talk about our goals. After this, you are going to have to answer a question. Let's preview the question before we look at the goals. You can record your response if you like. What reading goals do you have for yourself this semester? This will look different for everyone. While some of us, learning English as we read is a huge accomplishment. For others, we are working on analyzing the text for deeper meaning. Here are your sentence stems. So now let's think about our goals, our learning objectives. We are going to learn to draw conclusions, cause and effect, identify clear relationships in somewhat challenging passages. I put cause and effect twice. I'm a silly Billy. All right. Locate details, interpret words or phrases, analyze for meaning, analyze interactions of literary elements, analyze historical context, make inferences, and cite evidence. Those are all the things we're going to learn how to do throughout this unit. This is a lot of stuff. Like, if you can learn to cite evidence, analyze for meaning, interpret like words and phrases, you're going to find yourself really able to read between the lines, not just in books, but in everyday life. So go ahead and pause the video and take 5 to 10 minutes to answer this question. I would like complete sentences. Let's make it Let's try to use all 4 sentence stems. So go ahead, write me 4 sentences. 5 minutes, pause the video now, go. All right, if at this point you want to take another break, you can. If you are kind of pressed for time, go ahead and skip this break. This is up to you. It's a judgment call. Now we are going to read the prologue of The Bluest Eye. So your novel, it's on page 4 before the book starts. It begins with, "Here is the house. It is green and white." The online text that I've posted under today's class materials, it's on page 18. And the audio is labeled prologue under the audio in Google Classroom. Go ahead and pause the video and take 10 minutes to read the prologue. Okay, the last thing you need to do is your exit ticket. Your exit ticket are 2 quiz questions. Go ahead and answer these questions, and then you will be all done. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, kiddos, and I will see you next time. Bye.